Good afternoon, and thank you. I was actually going to let him keep speaking because it doesn't eat into my 10 minutes. Look, it's great to be back here. I was here about 2 years ago, and as Keith says, I'm going to talk to you about Falcon Oil and Gas, if I can get this to work. Where am I pointing? So who are we? We are an international oil and gas company. We specialize in unconventionals. Our shares are traded on the TSXV and also on the AIM market in London. We currently have a market capitalization of $350 million. And as the share price graph here shows you, we've had a near fourfold increase in our share price this year. So I'm going to explain in the next 10 minutes how that happened, and more importantly, why I think we are only at the beginning. So let's talk about our key asset. It's the Beetaloo Basin. It's about 600 kilometers south of Darwin, and it measures 4.6 million acres, or nearly 18,000 square kilometers. Put that in the context of the Barnett Shale. It's bigger than the entire Barnett Shale, and we, with our partner Origin Energy, we own it all. Back in 2014, I brought in Origin Energy, a big Australian company, brought them in as part of a $200 million farm-out deal. We got $20 million cash up front, but more importantly, we got commitment from them to drill 9-well program, and we are fully carried. When we started out the drilling program back in 2015, we sat down and we kind of put out on a piece of paper, what are all the boxes we needed to tick to make this shale play look like it could work in terms of thickness of reservoir, TOCs, porosity, rock geomechanics, and so on. And we picked a few well locations, two to the north, the Kalala well, the Amunji well, and we started drilling these two wells in 2015, back to back. They measure about 2,500 meters in depth. And we encountered, through what's called the Middle Valcarry, some really interesting shale plays. In fact, 3 within the Middle Valcarry package alone. Each of them, the B and the C in particular, measuring 30 meters net pay. The results from this first 2-well drilling program were so encouraging that our partner came to us and they said, look, can we accelerate the program? We want to bring forward horizontal drilling into 2015. We were a bit surprised, but we were very delighted. And so we re-entered the Amunji well and we drilled a 1,100 meter horizontal leg. Then rolling forward to 2016, we did a step out, 85-kilometer step out. And we drilled the Beetaloo W1 well down to about 3,000 meters and intersected identical A, B, and C shales to what we'd seen in the 2 wells to the north. So here we are now proving up the aerial extent of this huge, huge play. In addition to that, we also encountered at a much shallower horizon at about 1,500 meters, the lower Kayela, which further analysis is now showing that this could be equally, if not better, than the Middle Valcarry. So finishing that drilling program, we went back to the well that we drilled out horizontally at the end of 2015, and we fracked it back at the back end of 2016. 600 meter frack, 11 stages, and we tested it over 57 days. IP'd at 1.1 million a day, it finished at 1.1, it averaged 1.1. And that led to Origin concluding, if you look at their press release, quite a compelling statement that the Marcellus and Barnett shales in the US are analogous, commercially productive fields similar to the Middle Valcarry B shale. That's quite a big statement from our partner. So now at the end of that program, what have we done? Well, we think we've ticked all the boxes, and so too did our partner, Origin. And we declared a discovery on the project. We did a lot of work over the next few months, and we published these results in February this year. Hence the share price rise I referred to at the beginning. These are huge, 496 TCF of gas in place, applying a pretty conservative recovery factor of just 16%, gives you a technically recoverable resource of 85 TCF. Origin went one step further, and they worked up a contingent resource just around the 2 wells to the north. So just an area short of 500,000 acres, measuring about 1/8 of our acreage. and they came up with a contingent resource of 6.6 TCF. But let me emphasize that 6.6 TCF, it's only on the Middle Valcarry, and it's only on the B shale in the Middle Valcarry, and it's only on 1/8 of our acreage. Dave Close, who's the chief project manager for Origin, was asked one time recently by the media, how big could this really be? And he said, very candidly, it's like trying to identify an elephant by its toenail. So, next slide, we talk about moratorium on hydraulic fracking. If I was standing here a year ago, I might have said this to be a bit of a negative issue for the company. Today, it's actually the complete opposite. This now can be seen as the next major catalyst for the share price in Falcon. And the reason I can say that with confidence is we've lived with this moratorium now for over 12 months. It's coming to a conclusion. There's a final report due to be issued probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And we are more than hopeful that that report will contain a positive determination with regard to the moratorium. The government of Northern Territory, Chief Minister, has already come out and confirmed that he will act in accordance with that determination. So what happens next? And this is where it gets really, really exciting. Assuming I'm right, and we get a favourable determination, and assuming I'm right and the government moves to lift that moratorium, we're back drilling. And back drilling means drilling 5 more wells on our property. 4 of them are what I like to call all singing, all dancing horizontal multi-frac wells. Program estimated to cost $115 million at 0 cost to Falcon. It's part of the deal we negotiated 3 years ago. So here we have $115 million of capex to go. And what are we trying to do? Prove up more resource, move resource into reserve, but ultimately to get to a declaration of commerciality. And what does commerciality look like in this part of the world? Keith referred to gas prices. Gas is currently going under contract in Australia somewhere between $12 and $16 an MCF. Quite a different to what we have here or anywhere in North America for that matter. In addition, where we are 600 kilometers south of Darwin, Darwin is becoming a major LNG hub. The Japanese company Inpex, in partnership with Total, in the next month or so will complete $34 billion LNG facilities at Darwin. The Chinese are currently constructing that black line you see, the NGP gas line, that will directly connect the yet unproven, in terms of commercial proven, resources of the Northern Territory, but it will connect our resource directly to the East Coast, where they are going through the greatest energy crisis in over 100 years. So I'm going to leave it at that, gentlemen and ladies, with just one final thought, and maybe coming back to a comment that Frank made this morning. We are the first movers. We don't know what the true value is, but believe you me, it will be very big. Thank you.